Good day, students. Our lesson for today is about the components of a family budget. Please prepare your notebook and pen for you to take notes. You must take note of the important details in this discussion for our graded activity on our sync day. Let's start. Family finance refers to the management of income and expenses that affect a family. So there are two important things when we speak of family finance: income and expense. Income refers to the monetary payment received by family members who work. Expense, on the other hand, refers to the money paid by a family for the goods and services it gets. With the growing economic crisis, you must master the art of budgeting your family's income and expenses to minimize its impact on your family's life. For us to be able to do that, let's learn about the components of a family budget. The first component we are going to talk about is food. You and your family need to eat every day, so this should get the biggest share in the allocation of your family income. The kind of food served in the family will also depend on the condition of family members. A special diet will require extra expense for the family. Prices of basic food supplies affect the kind of food served in the family. It is important that meals are planned so that you can project how much money you are going to set aside to buy groceries, order takeout food, or dine out. Next is utilities. These are paid on a monthly basis. It includes electricity, water, telephone, and home cable bills. You have to get the average of all these so you can allocate a fixed amount monthly. Another is shelter. Some families rent the house or apartment they live in. If this is the case, a fixed monthly budget should be allocated. For those families who are in the process of owning a house, there should be an allocation for amortization, or the fixed amount paid to an agency for a period of time after which the house will be owned. Allocation for home repair and home improvement must also be set aside. Families should also allocate an amount of their income for education. This can be taken from a family's savings or education fund. Since tuition fees are paid either on a yearly or semestral basis, one can already foresee how much is needed and be prepared for it. This will also include expenses for the children's allowances, uniforms, books, and other school supplies. Next is savings. This is a separate amount of money that is set aside for emergency purposes or for something to be bought in the future. As the saying goes, save for the rainy days. This is true when it comes to income management. You can never tell what will happen in the future. It is good to save now and have something prepared for what lies ahead. Illness or accident in the family is the most common factor that eats up a family's savings. It should be a part of a family's budget, not to be taken from the other components. Another is household operations. This is an allocated budget for a family member who stays at home or a family house helper. This is used when your stay-at-home family member or helper goes to the market or grocery to buy supplies and food. This is also used as payment for home repairs and improvement. A budget for medical and dental expenses should also be set aside. These also include vaccinations, especially if there is a baby in the family. Clothing is also an item that needs to be bought for each family member's use. The clothing needs of family members differ from one another depending on their physical growth, status, and occasions or engagements to be attended. Next is rest and recreation. This refers to the activities that provide relaxation and entertainment for the family. This can also be pursuing hobbies and interests, out-of-town trips, and vacations. We also have certain social and moral obligations to ourselves and others. This is allocating budget for the family who attends personal events like birthdays, anniversaries, and weddings. A family also has its own moral responsibility to society. There are families that have their own outreach, like conducting a feeding program in depressed areas or visiting an orphanage or home for the aged. Other families prefer environmental conservation projects. Financial resources are needed to support these endeavors. Now, it is important to know the needs and wants of the family because it helps in the apportioning of the income and expenses. Always have a clear picture of what your family goals are when determining your needs and want. Needs should be prioritized over wants. In economics, needs are defined as the things that help us survive, like food, clothing, and shelter, while wants are those that make our life comfortable and enjoyable, like television, computers, cell phones, etc. You should be careful when it comes to money matters. Limit your expenses within your budget, thus avoiding shortages or deficits. They are as follows. Never buy on credit. No matter how tempting the offer, do not grab it. Wait until you have available cash to buy the item. Always buy the right size. It is a waste of time, money, and energy when you get the wrong size. Never buy items that are not on your shopping list. You might be tempted to buy items that are on promo or sale. These seem very attractive at first, but only to find out that you do not need these items later on. Make sure you are full when you go out shopping. A hungry consumer is often tempted to eat on impulse, resulting in buying expensive food. Refrain from frequent shopping. This might get your family into financial trouble. Your family should live within the budget. This will relieve you from the burden of incurring too much debt. Be cautious in spending the family's income freely. That's the end of our discussion. Make sure that you took notes for a graded recitation on our sync day.